Hello and welcome everyone to now the second day and third part of the team analysis. And as you can see, I have brought one person back from yesterday, and this person is Shiel.
Hey, what's going on?
And yeah, if someone will join us later, we will see. And we just try to finish up the remaining drafts, and that is Chicago Black Haluchas. It is Zidona Score Bunnies. It is the Pittsburgh Empoleons. It's Los Angeles Lugias. It's Nazarick Necrozma, and that's it. That's all.
Yep, that's those are the last five. We'll cover when where do we want to start today?
All right. So we have different paths to choose. We should start with the Pittsburgh Empoleons because I didn't do him yesterday. Firing shots at him saying I'm not about the Coca Lucha life this time. So let's start with him today. And you
Sounds
can
good.
kick us off with Pittsburgh Empoleons.
All right, I can do that. I just told Dank if he wants to join in, he's more than welcome to. So,
Absolutely.
all right. Yep. So, right off the bat, this is the draft for Daniel Song, aka Dank, who is also a season two champion. Um, and actually, and after a setback in season three, and he came close in season four. I believe you stopped him personally,
In
uh,
semifinals, yes.
his Coco Lucha, and you never know, you might be up against it again because you know how Dank loves his Coco Lucha. Um, but let's go down the list, shall we? Let's start with. Oh, and since we've been mentioning Coco Lucha now three times, or a couple times, um, he drafted Kapu Koko, which alone by itself was a great choice because high speed tier, grid coverage on electric and fairy. Can easily, and because it's mainly special attacker, so it can use any hidden power it needs to, but like has it has some decent physical coverage that it's
And its
so
attack is better than its special attack. So
yeah, and most of all, its speed. Its speed is like already faster than most things here. I'm pulling up its numbers right now.
it
Yeah,
goes up to 394 speed if you max it out.
attack is base 115. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy that most people use it for more of special attack than physical attacks. Its physical attack is better. You're right.
Yeah,
On
it's the Wild Charge U-turn Brave Bird. It's hilarious.
yeah, yeah. Brave Bird especially like has been like key to break those real like certain fat mons like Mega Venusaur. Like you can't like it does not welcome those hits very nicely, among other things. Plus just flying coverage, it hits a lot of things for neutral, so like that's just good to have. I think its ability electric surge makes it so its electric attacks get a boost on top of not being put to sleep, and which can be great for just keeping the momentum up. And then next down the list we've got Mew. Mew, is like that base 100 all around, also the thing that can learn every move in the game. So like even like he's got no shortage of options if he wants to customize Mew any way he wants. So that's a very smart choice by him.
I think also, by the
Um,
way, that's because he he had a lot of problems last season because he ran the same team over and over again. The
mhm.
exactly same team, exactly same sets. And so when I came to battle him the second time around, I basically already knew what he would bring. And you can counter that very easily. And so I think opening up the space with stuff like Mew really can put the weakness he had last season to stop and just give him the options, a lot of options.
Yeah, most definitely. Like if he even if Dank can be a creature of habit, like at the least like having Mew allows him to be flexible in that regard. So it gives him it allows him to be stagnant, yet it allows him to be versatile as well. If that makes sense. It's just because like he has the options to customize like that. So
Yes.
it's smart. He's playing to his strengths, I feel. Then next up is the dreaded Hawlucha, which everything everybody saw coming, but like nobody wanted to snipe that from him. Uh, but I mean, it's not. I mean, with
Which I
Ubers,
can blame you. I can blame you because you had Tapu Lele or the guy with Tapu Bulu.
there's someone
Lucha
took Tapu
synergized with
Fini
them.
too. All three of them left the table.
So like every of the Tapu can synergize with Halucha. I don't know why letting it get through to Tapu Koko guy because Tapu Lele synergizes with it decently well too, and Tapu Bulu also. So yeah.
I suppose if Dank really wanted to give it up, like he would like pressure me into making a very like particular deal. You know,
If
as like it,
he
he's like give these pieces up, and I'll give you Lucha. But like, I mean, people can definitely like live without it. It's just it's gonna be a pain to fight though.
Yeah, it's annoying to fight. I don't think it always looks scary, but since you know that is his main core and is often coming, you can play around it easier. Like
Hmm.
I fear those strong ones more that have a lot of options that you can't predict easily.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Next up, he's got this is where he drafted his major Uber. He drafted Groudon. And keep in mind that if remember that he can't use Primal Groudon as banned. So in terms of the item that you'll expect on Groudon is kind of new. I've never actually fought Groudon. I mean, aside from random battles, I've never fought Groudon alone.
It is
So
played as usually a rock setter. It's a strong rock setter, even without Dazzle on land. But obviously the primal was insane, but we don't talk about that here. You
yeah,
can play it as like the toxic annoyance, but I feel like Groudon isn't as strong of an Uber. Were a lot of strong Ubers, and Groudon is okay.
yeah, without its fire typing that it gets in its primal form, like yeah, its fire attacks will be boosted. So like moves like Fire Punch, actually I think that might be its only physical fire. Now that I think about it, looking down the list, yeah, it's its only physical fire. I mean, it can. I mean, using Eruption, I mean, is an option. The thing is, it doesn't get the fire stab boost, no matter like in this case. So, and not to and without Desolate Land, it's still wide open to water. So, yeah, he can deter water if he has. Let me see if he has any chlor. Yeah, he has Venusaur for chlorophyll, but that's like you said, that's also going to make it pretty predictable because if he brings Groudon and Venusaur, you know he's going to be running that speed set,
Yeah.
and then if you run.
Also, he did that last season too, right? He had Coco Lucha, and then he had Charizard Y and Venusaur.
Yeah, and I think he also picked Torkoal as well. He picked a lot of Sunsetters so that he could get the benefit. But the thing is that this season he's gonna be essentially bringing in two man squads on his squad of six. He's bringing Coco Lucha, he'd bring Groudon, Venusaur, and then after that it'd be like any supporting depending on what he needs. But at the same time, like that could still be to his benefit. You know, it's like those just because it's predictable doesn't mean that like it'll be easy to beat. So
No, obviously
it,
not, but it's like you can play around it easier than like the strength of Mew is to that it's hard to play around. And
mhm.
I think that's something you have to look at because I don't know if Mew is a best pick here, while it is a strong one for him as a player. He already has Mega Alakazam later down the line, which is a better psychic type in offense. And so
Uh-huh.
he never wants to run both because that opens him up to like certain types like bug or dark to really put in damage because Coco never wants to take damage ever. And
No, exactly.
and Lucha, well, can take a few hits, but also prefers not to.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so if he runs Coco Lucha and like Venusaur Groudon, he limits himself in options, so he might just cut off Groudon and Venusaur's combination a lot of the times just to open up space for utility, and then he has Coco Lucha, and then the Groudon Sun is just kinda weak on his team. Volcarona is obviously the strong benefitor,
Yeah,
but yeah, otherwise,
Volcarona is a strong choice. I felt gives him a really good special attacker plus quiver dancing to like for sweeping for if he can get that setup moment in. So it's like all-purpose attacker, almost similar to Nihilego that Darian picked up before, but um, it also has that double. It's pretty weak to stealth rock, so that's one problem that he's going to have to watch for. But I mean, he's got Mew, Coco, Hawlucha if he really wants, Mandibuzz, all these things as defoggers. So like, he's not short on that if he needs to clear the rocks on his side. I can't really identify
Daniel joined.
many. Hey,
Hello
Daniel!
Holy
there. Actually, I can't.
shit!
Hello.
Just in time, we were
Hello.
busy bashing.
Hi.
I mean, talking about your draft.
All right. What's going on?
Yeah, you have. Are you like driving?
Actually, though, I am.
Yeah, I can hear that. It's pretty loud.
Is it that loud?
Kind of, but
Kind of.
it's not the worst.
It's not the worst, but just for your information.
Yeah.
Yes. Red lights are helpful.
Nice. Anyways, we're just going down we just started with yours. We're just going down. We're commenting on Coco Lucha. Just talked about
Of course.
you, Groudon. Groudon. We're right about on Mega Alakazam and Volcarona.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can
So
I can also say Mega Alakazam is in my opinion one of the strongest megas for drafts because it it pressures opponents with strong abilities very hard. So
yeah.
it comes in, can just ignore stealth rocks, and then if it megas, like you don't want like a Pheromosa without like Choice Scarf on it out against Mega Alakazam that just one shots it and then gets a special attack boost out of the nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's literally that's the or like speed boost or against it or like something like that. It really
Yeah.
puts in the damage then.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
he can
That's
just run
where
Mega
it can
Alakazam
definitely
do
be
a lot.
helpful.
And it already is a hard hitter anyways.
Yeah, 175 base special attack. Holy Jesus, that's gonna hit hard. And then on top of the 150 speed, like they already like Alakazam was already naturally faster than a lot of Mons, and then but Mega Zam just like puts it over the top. That's crazy. It's fragile, but then again, like it doesn't like if you can hit it that speed, who cares if it's fragile, right?
And by the way, if dies to fake out Bullet Punch from Mega Medicham, I've used it a lot of times to catch people off guard.
Yeah. I mean, I ideally would not want to leave Zam in on Medicham, but yeah, it's Zam definitely felt like a good value. I was like, why is this thing in tier 4? I don't understand, but okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, I would have taken it if my Mega wasn't my tier 1.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, you decided to take one of the targets I was eyeing for round 1, but I'm like, happens. Can't do anything about it.
honestly, Mega Metagross is just crazy good in draft. So
Yeah, it has a really good coverage in that sense, but
yeah,
yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I think what if you guys? So you guys got to the Zam and Volk side of things, okay?
yeah, I don't
yeah.
think you can see you can't see your draft list right now, can you? Because we're just going down your list.
No, I remember what I drafted, so no
Yeah,
worries.
we're just going in order, but yeah, no worries. So then the next thing he picked was Cobalion. The thing you picked was Cobalion. It's good steel
Mhm.
fighting, bulky to take hits. Can set the rocks, good speed, can like pretty versatile choice actually. Good.
I'm
I had my eye on
honestly
it.
that's the thing about Cobalion on this team is it's another fighting type which you try to avoid with Halucha because Halucha is already the premier fighting type,
Yeah, but
and
he can't live on Holucha forever.
and,
Like
and
having a backup isn't a bad idea.
yeah, but like Cobalion has its place, but I don't see it pulling out like any sweeping position with Halucha taking the fighting spot on the team. So it's more the rock setter, volt switch, keeping up the pressure, and like having the solid base speed with it coming with it. But I don't see it running like the like choice scarf or choice band close combat dealing huge amounts of damage shit because that's what Halucha is there for.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cobalion is going to fulfill more of that kind of role on the team, just based on who I have. I mean, of course, I can always utilize people preparing so much for the Coco Lucha combo that I'm like, I have to bring Hot Lucha today. I'll just bring Cobalion instead. Or I can bring both. I think there's a few, like, when I look at different teams, especially like in my division, for example, I think, having Cobalion and Hot Lucha together wouldn't be bad. I think it's they could work together just fine.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, he
definitely. Like,
faces Mewtwo Tapu Lele.
No,
hang
I
on.
think it'll be fine. Mewtwo. I mean, I'm not really
Whoa.
thinking that. I mean, that's where I'll have to adjust things a little bit for whatever purpose. I think Mewtwo,
Coming
Lele. It's
coming to your matchups. The good thing is you have a Dark type with Mandibuzz,
hmm
so you at least have a somewhat Sessogen. But the thing about Mewtwo is its coverage is so crazy, and Tapu Lele hits it super effective for anyways. That really
yeah.
it really like Shield's team is a problem all on its own.
Well, yeah,
To-
of course. I mean, I think that's the team that I have to prepare for the most, and if anything, which will be a good match when we get there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be such a headache. And like yours and Darius, I'm already like I'm dreading the most among the in our division because is like going through Darius's draft yesterday. We saw so many problems for just any team in general. Like I like when I look at it closely, like I see like how well you really drafted and like how well like our division is like honestly pretty stacked. So it's gonna be difficult matches throughout.
And then there's Phil.
He's got, yeah, be careful. I have a feeling Phil is like he's confident in his draft, and even though like we found a lot
Oh
of
no,
flaws,
no, he is. Of course he is. That's Phil.
That's Phil. He always starts off confident, then he swaps up half of his roster, and then he starts off really powering up and just tearing down teams. And then
yeah,
mostly he just makes playoffs and just either wins one game in playoffs or no game in playoffs, and then faces someone who just randomly beats him. And that's Phil for you.
Oh man.
well,
Man, we can. As every single talk, we always bury Phil. I see how it is.
Now I shit talk everyone, but everyone shit talks me, and I'm fine with that because I know it's not serious. Like I don't smack Phil because I think Phil is a bad player. I smack Phil because I like to smack Phil sometimes.
I feel like it's a running gag in there, and Phil's just like used to it, and he just like kind of like it's his thing, where he's just like he's gonna feed off everybody's shitting on him, and he's just gonna get stronger from that.
Yeah, it's like the same thing with Shield. I talk shit to Shield randomly on some points, but I know Shield is a good player.
Yeah, it's all in good fun. Also, did we get someone else join?
Daniel surely lags out right now, so I
It's
might
fine.
have
Don't
to I
worry.
might have to mute him so the audio doesn't get absolutely fucked.
I'll give him a chance.
And yeah, we have someone that joined us too. It's Reverse 123, so the Los Angeles Venusaurs again.
We got
But
Edwin.
he's muted.
Hey, Edwin.
But he's muted again. As he's always.
Let's see. Let's keep going then. We still got 3 others on this list here. We talked about Mandibuzz, which Dark Flying, good type combo, which like because it takes out Dark's weaknesses and he's got and plus it's like solid physical defense, can be a dedicated defogger, toxic U-turn, heck, like foul play to check those physical attackers, and on top of that, like it's a hard mon to break unless you've got like terrific special coverage. So like, but even then, like he's got the tools to play it well, I think. Um, After that, he's got Haxorus, which I was considering for a point, and I think Pat was too, because it's like when you look at its physical attack, it's such a good breaker. It's crazy. Like I'm pulling up stats right now. It's got 147 base attack. That is nothing to scoff at. That is incredible. And on top of that, it's got Mold Breaker, so that it can hit like any of those levitate mons. It can hit Earthquake. We hit with Earthquake. Does it get rocks? It does not. Even so, like I was gonna say, if it had hazards, like it can definitely use that, like go right through any mons with magic bounce. But even then, like just being able to hit any, like nullify any ability is still incredibly valuable. Uh, Going, and then lastly we skipped over one. We Golisopod, famously known as like the priority guy. He's able to use any priority attack out there. Most of the good ones anyways is like Aqua Jet. First Impression is the main one because he can just like he can deal a lot of bug damage, especially to like teams with psychic with like strong psychic leads, like mine, to Lauren. Let's see who else drafted like good psychic mons. Austin drafted Latias, so like that problem there. Like Kalen drafted Jirachi, Steel, but still will take the neutral damage. But
My
yeah, it was like
problem
he's
with
got
my problem with it is its ability is so bad.
yeah, its ability will hold it back a bit, so he's gonna have to he's gonna have to play on the more bulky side, which he can because Golisopod has like base 120, 125 attack, 140 defense, 90 special def. So if he wanted to go assault vest on it, like he's got that option. Or if he just wants to like, go in with choice band and like or an orb, like he can play that up. He can use that ability to his advantage to momentum if he plans it the right way. So it's like its ability is kind of a hindrance, but could also be to his benefit as well, just based on who he's up against. But it's a pretty hard ability to work around. But and then
Especially since
lastly,
the enemy knows its ability because it only has one.
yeah, that's the other thing too, is that it's its only ability, so it's easy to like anticipate. That said, it's still and it does take the damage from rocks, so it could immediately, like, depending on how much, he'll have to be careful in the switch-ins because a couple switch-ins and but already he's down to 50%. But like obviously he's not going to make that mistake, but it's going to be based on how he gets pressured. But and then lastly on the list, he's got Venusaur, which while not its mega form, is still like with chlorophyll able to like to use the speed to the benefit. He still has plenty of options there. Plus Leech Seed, Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb. If he wants to, he can do a physical set with Power Whip with Earthquake. Like, or just like he can play toxic shenanigans. Like he's got like Venusaur. I feel like is a very like regular Venusaur. I feel like as like, and it's a very like underrated pick.
Something
So,
that Pat did last in this. I prepped with Pat against Dan and for the playoffs, and he always beat me the same way because my team had no way to hold up like a Venusaur with Solar Beam. But I knew Daniel never played Solar Beam on Venusaur. He always played the Giga Drain.
That is true.
And like the Solar Beam would have won him games, and he lost games with Giga Drain. Like Solar Beam is scary AF.
Hank, any comments on any of the commentary I made on on Mandibuzz, Haxorus, Golisopod, anything. I know you were muted during that time.
Yeah. I was in the coffee at work, so.
Okay, how about we don't ask him anything at all anymore until he's
And
home or something like that. Holy shit, that was terrible.
Oh, that's okay. That's
Oh!
my bad. But
yeah, you jinxed it, Lawrence. He's working now.
No, he's not working. I hope he's not working. This is great.
Never mind. Yeah,
Not
Yeah, I'm in a call closet right now. But anyway, so
all right. So I guess we just you heard it here. Well, all of Daniel's opinions on his own team.
yeah. Unfortunately, he got cut out there. Also, we see Austin is now joining us. Hello, Austin.
Hello, Austin. And yeah, he's not even like it's literally like he started a sentence and he didn't even cut off. It didn't even begin. You just hear like
Yeah, he got
like
distorted real fast.
it's crazy.
Is the connection really that bad?
You have to listen to the audio when I upload it. It is literally that bad.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay, I see how it is. Doink.
Okay, now
Gotcha.
now I listen. Now I hear you normally. But
Oh,
it
okay.
swaps
Cool.
it swaps around a little. Like it's very laggy.
Okay.
So
Well,
yeah.
no problem. I can just post my thoughts in the chat. Give me a second.
Well,
No
at
worries,
least
no
that was
worries.
clean. So yeah, but in
Yeah, we
general,
got the audio on that.
I enjoyed watching the draft fall out because there are so many different types to play Pokemon, and you have so many different type of players within the league that watching how these drafts finish up and clean up there and stuff like that, it's really interesting to watch. And I think Daniel's teams are always something that are fun to watch how they will like fall out because there's so many ways he can use this team. But as we said earlier, there are also so many predictable ways he has to use certain combos. Oh, he made a freaking paste bin
Let's
for that.
see. Oh wow, he's got wow, dang.
Oh crap, that's long. I'm just going to speed talk this, not fully. Like all right. Round 1, certain Pokemon. Unfortunately, a lot of the upper end Tier 1 Pokemon went off the board. Tier White, Mewtwo, Magearna, Aegislash, Naganadel, Mega Metagross, etc. And Tier 2.
We said dank. Yeah, just kidding. But yeah, we.
I figured that
Well,
Grounded and Rayquaza are the 2 Tier 1s I like building a team around. Low priority picks, that's true. I told already that I don't like Groudon as a normal Groudon, but it's a decent rock setter and it's very bulky anyways. Corrected my Josh Unfold. Because I've had priority tier 1s, it was probably fine to pass on tier 1 for round 1 and just take my favorite tier 2 and first priority of tier 3, which is absolutely right. And that gave you Coco, which is great. Yeah, Coco is flexible, can provide a lot of other team. Mew was more memes, but in all seriousness, Coco is one of them. What the fuck? Mew was chosen because I felt like it was not coming back to me. That's actually true.
Coco Lucha for the memes.
Yeah. For next to pick Salucha for the meme Coco Lucha combo. Just made sense. If the other Tapu pickers let it go through. Absolutely right, I said that earlier too. And then we're going to see the combo will perform, the former and Gazubas, but I'm looking forward to having some fun with this duo for another season. Yeah, you like that combo. Yeah, Breath and Sex pick. I was eyeing several Mega Evolutions. Terraria got sniped. GG! Mega Alakazam is super for special threat on top of utilizing the Psychic Terrain from Z-Mew. It sounds like a decently solid Psy Spam combo. I would agree. It's definitely the second best Psy Spam combo we have. Will Corona brings out some special seating setup sweep. Absolutely true on that one too. For pick 7 and 8, one choice for tier 4, adding on earlier choices for the other tiers. Command and Mandibus. I enjoy these picks. Command and Mandibus are alright. Mandibus more than Cobalion for your team, in my opinion. Hence a choice for pick 9 and 10. Once again, take the priority Pokemon of tier 5 before others get there. Glycibot is a priority revenge killer. Coming for that, Mewtwo should be fun.
Oh no, he's already listed out that he's coming for me.
Hex is
Dang.
probably one Pokemon I wouldn't mind sending back to free agency if I don't see it having much sales on the team. I would disagree. I see Hexorus as one of the stronger picks on your team, but I figure physical setup Steeper would be a nice idea, of course. Last pick Venusaur, because I don't see people taking a regular Venusaur without a Sunsetter, and giving that I had the best option from the board. It only made sense to leave this one last, and it should be a fun time in a way running at another Sun team like last year. Yes. You had it this last year. I already said that too. And oh, I didn't want to get there. Now I'm at the tier list. Now I'm back. And yeah, so yeah, it's interesting, definitely. I think it feels very similar like the team last season, with a little bit of an up. Like last season, you had way less options, so you always took the same teams. And that made you predictable and made people like play around you smarter than other times. And this time, Mew, for example, especially Mew on number one space already for me, and Coco giving you a lot of different options. You just have to pick them, I guess. But there are definitely options in this team. It's more versatile than the last team you drafted, in my opinion.
Agreed. He's got a lot more options in this time around. And even for the ones that are more predictable, he's still got like he can still boast like a powerful. He can be pretty threatening for this one as a powerful offensive front. Plus some pretty reliable bulky options. I agree with the Golisopod Revenge Killer. So like that also like implies that he's probably gonna, if he's aiming for Mewtwo with that thing, he's probably gonna be after Lele as well. So
Yeah, but
like
the thing is,
Lele
Galisabot sucks versus Lele, right? Because like you put out Galisabot against Lele, you can't use priority against it, so it already loses its main strength. And then you just like Moonblast its face, or Psyshock its face, or Psykick its face, and it goes out with its ability. And it basically accomplished nothing. So Galisabot is actually bad versus Lele, in my opinion.
which I think he's going to be accounting for. So I think that like he's going to anticipate that I'm going to use it as a priority blocker, which is going to be the main threat. But we'll see. But I mean, I know Dank, he's more clever than like just simply throwing out like spamming priority against Lele like that. But um, yeah, but like also keep in mind that he's got one of the Tapus as well, so
Yeah.
he can fight the terrain battle with me. So therefore, it's gonna be like whose terrain outlasts who. And
I'm
Austin
just
has
waiting.
the same idea. Wow.
I'm just waiting for both of you to take like terrain extender to hold up your terrain even longer if the opponent doesn't clear it.
Damn, Austin, you're giving us ideas already. So Dank, you hear that? Lauren wants us to bring terrain extenders to for both our for our match. So it's gonna be some shenanigans.
I'm okay with you doing that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, but I think
Hard
it's
eyes that.
hilarious. It's literally hilarious that there's an item that extends the duration of terrain, and you never see it because it's so bad.
All
I love
right.
it.
So how do we feel about this one overall? Because eventually, at the end of these 5 analyses, like we got to do a rating for like the top.
That's actually my sixth entry in the top 8.
Mhm.
This is my sixth entry in the top eight. Like Austin actually predicts me.
Mhm.
Yeah, but this is my sixth entry in the top eight, so I don't have as much top eight as you believe.
Mm. Like it is definitely up there. And so this is one you're definitely gonna have to watch for, especially with like the versatility of Mew, like the speed problem that he's gonna be imposing on other people. Because he has a very like naturally fast draft. And those that aren't fast can have the ability to get faster, like Venusaur. Um, Volcarona is like Volcarona is like average speed, but can easily get faster. And then like the heavier options like Mandibuzz and Golisopod like don't have to be fast. Whereas like and Haxorus can Dragon Dance up as need be. So speed I don't think will be an issue for him unless you got another opinion on it.
Yeah, I would agree, but you always have to look at it like there are definitely ways you can see this team fall apart on small occasions, but I think he had a very similar team last season. Just open up more options. He did great last season with it. He had the problem of like staying staying with the same ones over and over again because the rest of his team was pretty bad. But he felt comfortable on it, and I think with opening up a little more options, he can definitely put in work with this team.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I don't know if Dank's mic is working or not, but any thoughts from you, man?
He said people definitely prepare a lot for the Coca Lucha combo, which is probably right. Like every team that doesn't just naturally clears Coca Lucha will bring something dedicated to kill Coca Lucha. So
Yeah, for sure. Um, let's give him a second. You think he's closing out with basically we've got everything. Yeah, no, you're welcome, Dank. Thanks for joining. Feel free to listen in. We still got a few more to cover. I think Austin will love this, but I want to do Luigi next. And wow, Austin, we're literally on the brainwave right now. He wants Luigi. I wanted to do Luigi's next. Either Luigi's or Kalen's, I think.
I think I want to go with Kalen's
Ooh, rip Austin.
because
And
then we would have finished
better.
the Ula Ula division, right? Like so we don't have to go up there.
Oh, we
Uh,
just finished the Melee one.
we just finished
We got
Melee, so we can just clean up the Ula division. Then we only have one left in the Pony division, and we have two left at the Akala division, and then we are good. But
all
honestly,
right.
well, we can like if we would have paid close attention, we could have like gotten like one from each division all the time and like just be nice. But now since we already finished off the Melee division, I think we can also just cut off other divisions like the Ula Ula division now.
All right, sure. We'll do Ula Ula. Then what we could do is we could go to Luigi's after that, then go to Pony, and then finish up
With
and then finish
Evitar.
up the Hollow.
Then you finish up with, wait, this is actually not Shield, but why did he charge Shield's Mons?
Oh yeah, yeah. That guy. Oh my god, it's Quentin. I gotta talk. Quentin should join me for this, but we'll tell Kalen
Okay, Kalen.
when that is next.
Uh,
Kalen,
you can tell Kalen we can wait and he might be able to listen in. We will see. And until then, we
oh
can
god,
chill a little.
Austin's dying in his office right now. I bet.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. It's literally I look at I look at the draft and like, well, this could absolutely be Shield's draft right there.
Yeah, I think that was his idea. It was like, you know what? If I need a working plan, let me look at one of the past teams. I feel like on some people couldn't take your some tools that you use because you already took them back. Like that you took your Blacephalon back. Actually, I mean, someone took. I know who. Forget who took Xurkitree. or I can't remember your season 4 draft Medicham this time, which is really weird because usually good does go early, but
Kalen took Zerg, yes.
he did, or no, he took Xerneas. He didn't take. Oh yeah, and he took Xerxes
He
too.
he
I see
he
it
took
now.
he took the double X. He didn't want to take the third X,
Yeah.
but
Um.
yeah, 2 strikes already. Third one's coming his way. Eh.
Let's see. Oh
All
no,
right,
unless you
he
have
can't join
Zatsu,
in.
but
Ken can't join in, but
let's
we
see. He left
will
in
start off. And he left. He left his thoughts, right? He did that.
You did scroll up a bit, and
All
you'll
right.
see. I can read. I'll take the lead on this one then, because you read the last one.
All right.
Um.
You have to do a great impression like I did. Otherwise,
All
it
right.
doesn't work.
Well, let's start with the base. Our first impression involves saying Sunday, Sunday, Sunday 3 times.
All
So
right.
there's that. Just I had to do it for Kalen. It's our thing. It's our thing. But all right. So let's start with Xerneas. So I'm like, he knew that he couldn't use Geomancy, and but it's a good. But according to him, is a good fat fairy, a good T1. Like he's not wrong. He's like he'll be able to with fairy aura and the amount of coverage that it has. Like Xerneas will still be able to do a ton of damage. Um, just that this it is a hindrance that he can't use geomancy, but I think but since he sounds like he knew what he was going to account for that, we'll see what happens. And then it gives him something to fight Evital and can use aromatherapy. So like some good options there. Like he's going to have Xerneas as a very heavy support mon.
And
Um,
he has Evital Tiny. He has Darkrai, so he has weaker Evital on his team.
It does, and like Darkrai, pulling up the stats now. Um, Darkrai has 125 base speed and 135 attack, so it's nothing. So he had a good option in that on top of Barry. He's got his Dark. Like Evital has a slightly less special attack than that. So I think Kalen made a good choice on that. He will have to worry just about Darkrai's fragility to a point, but then again, like 90 defense is still nothing to scoff at. It's still something worth having. He said the speed is too good to pass up, and it's like something that can spam Dark Pulse like that, and among other things like Dark Pulse, Ice Beam, like Darkrai has like some good coverages, so it's something. And like not to mention and I think certain sets he can use Spatial Rend, so he'll have Dragon coverage if he wants. And looking for other things that he's got.
I just preparing my physical Keldeo to go in with the Justified and get an attack boost.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, you will probably face him because you're in the same conference.
Yes.
Looking at other moves that it gets, I do not. It does get Thunderbolt, and it gets Will-O-Wisp. So if you
The
really want,
usual thing is the usual thing I see is Nasty Plot, Hypnosis, Sludge Bomb, and Dark Bolts because it gives great coverage, a lot of power boosting up. It doesn't need boosting speed, deals a lot of damage. Hypnosis to take use of its ability, and it's stronger than Dark Void at this point. So why not just take Hypnosis, right?
yeah, yeah, like its coverage, like having the Sludge Bomb was a good point. It'll help him fight back against fairies. Um, on top of and also grass as well.
Yes.
Um, uh, what else? Oh yeah, plus taking Xerneas for himself, like he doesn't have to worry about facing it. So as like in terms of like the big fair, like some of the major fairies that got taken were like Magearna, Magearna Lele is like he won't be able to use spam sludge bomb against Magearna, but he will. But like fighting Lele is like against me could be a problem if I am one of his two conference matches, but we'll see. We'll see. Jirachi, good choice there because having Steel Psychic is just a good typing to have in general. So like that was a good decision by him. Plus, not to mention like the Iron Head spam. If he really wants to, he's got the U-turn momentum. He can throw rocks, wish passing, Iron Head spam, and he also starts his Dragonsteel Fairy Core, which he finishes up later with Salamence. He doesn't get the Omni boost, but then again, Jirachi is like such a good amount, so good amount that like, and the coverages has. Plus, with Serene Grace can inflict like any status with said move, so it's like
Yeah, it's also Jirachi is something I looked at before I thought about taking the Mega Road. And Jirachi is a Pokemon that is very threatening. So you have Zen Headbutt, or for the flinch you have the Psychic for the lots of damage. If you want, you have a U-turn. You have the possibility of Iron Heading everything down. It has Healing Wish, so if you play Choice Scarf and you see your main force to take down your opponent goes low, you just like Healing Wish, bring it in, Healing Wish, get your thing into full HP again. So it has a lot of options, and some of them are really, really, really strong.
Yeah, I think Kalen made some good choices so far, and then like it just gets worse. It's worse for the rest of us because his next choice is Salamence, which like having the dragon flying, like he already doesn't like he only has ice neutrals and one ice resist so far, so like he can afford to have like one thing that's double weak to ice beam that way. So not just, and on top of that, like Salamence getting Intimidate and Moxie, depending on how he wants to use it, like having this already annoying core is just gonna be made worse with this thing. Plus its coverage, plus being a Z user, like I think he made Salamence the Z user. If not, like it's still a threat all on its own with Moxie. Um, I think it was a good choice on his part, and like even though he passed up Garchomp, like Salamence can still do plenty. Top of that, Salamence, or not Salamence anymore, Swampert. It's good. He's got bulky water, can throw rocks, and also just an electric immunity because then he covers the fact that like the first four bonds on his squad are all electric neutrals.
Man said Scolipede are the sea captains, he just said.
What did he say?
He said, Daniel looked it up, and Mance and Scolipede are the sea captains.
Oh, Scolipede Zcam. That's also like pretty bad for the rest of us because Scolipede with its speed boost and then just being able to like launch a Z move, like that's gonna be a problem. So he's definitely like his head's in the right place with this one. It's like plus in Mence, and like we said before, Mence with Z move just like can start up that Moxie chain right away if he plays it right. Um, we saw Salamence. I think in minors we saw that it was a threat, but I think it was mishandled. So we're hoping to see that it is like a much better, like a much more efficient use out of it with this draft.
Last major seasons, we saw a great use of it from Ryan. A lot of the times, with a lot of good intimidate plays on it and stuff like that.
Yeah, agreed. I think, and that carried him for a lot of the season too. Salamence, it's just overall a great pick. Swampert, I agree. Like I agree with his mentality on it. Entei, all right. So because at that point there were a lot of like physical fire picks still left on the table. There was, and looks like I got a shout out too because I was considering Entei, Darm, and Arcanine, but I didn't get to Arcanine because I got taken before it was my turn. Arcanine, like, but the mentality here is like he's got Sacred Fire, and it's like aside from him and Darien are the only ones who'll get that access, like that 50% burn chance, plus like insane physical fire damage. The thing with him is that he gets extreme speed, but but since it's based on an event set, it's going to be, and that it has to be adamant. It's going to be pretty easy to predict its speed tier. So that Entei can be problematic, and with a choice band or life orb, definitely can be problematic. But it can also be dealt with when you know what you're looking for, because having E-speed on it requires it to be adamant and also requires it to be shiny. So he'll have to, if he falls into that trap for the player who's like knows a couple other little quirks on Showdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, after that we got
If you see
Circuitry.
if you see a shiny Entei, you can probably guess what moves it already will run and what the nature does and stuff like that.
Yeah, like like Sacred Fire on Entei is already a given because it's because of its incredible burn chance and accuracy. So you don't even need Will-O-Wisp anymore. Like you can just spam damage that will definitely burn. Um, and then the shiny Entei just gives away the E speed probability. What did Dank say? He says Entei does not have the greatest move pool. So yeah, you're already figuring out 2 out of 4. That said, it still can hit pretty hard.
I
So
I I love the fact that Pat ran an ante that no one expected with like the Z Dick, I think it was, and Howl to boost up its attack on the opponent's protect. So that was a very wild set.
yeah,
So it
yeah,
has
it's
options. They are just very weird.
very weird. So if Kalen wants to flex his creative muscles on this, like I think this could be a good chance for him to, especially given what he already has. Like he's already got a solid backbone to his team that makes him threatening. So he could go. He can get very creative with this Entei if he wants to. It's just he's not gonna have. But we'll see what he comes up with. We got Circuitry. And yes, I'm going to insert the obligatory alien reference to you, Lauren, because when you take
Oh
when
my
you take 3 or 4
god.
aliens, you get
This
everything.
guy! Oh my god. You're known for fucking paper! A grass paper! What do you even want from me?
Okay, all right. Well, on that regard, then the 2 seasons in a row, teams with Ultra Beasts have won. So I get my origami, you get your firecracker, and this circuitry was your veteran too. So there's that. Um,
I told
let's
you,
go.
I thought about trying to get circuitry again because it can carry hard.
Oh yeah, I thought about circuitry as well. Like,
Oh,
um,
I know, and I told you that
yeah,
to get
I
away.
both I had Mega Manectric and circuitry on the brain. I just like I was
That is.
it was tough considering the options in the same tier and like letting Mega Manectric go. I thought maybe I could go back for it, but Darian picked it up, and I mean it's a good because like having that intimidate Volt turn, like that's a unique plus flamethrower on that and Thunderbolt like with good power, like good option there. And then Circuitry has like some good options on it because it's got Energy Ball, Dazzling Gleam, Thunderbolt, of course. Hidden Power is needed, and then it getting with an okay speed tier, but like easily Scarf to become like something good.
Oh, I I
So
I fooled opponents already with that too, because everyone expects the scarf, and so last season I
mhm.
ran specs like at least 8 matches,
Oh, that
and
hits hard, and
and
then that gets that special attack boost right away.
and that hits very hard, and people don't expect it, and they still are too scared to go in with their faster Pokemon. No, they bring in their circuitry counter then, which takes a lot of damage on circuitry because they didn't try to bother making it speedy, so it gets a lot of damage. And then they finish circuitry, but circuitry already did the job by then.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking into stats right now. Its stats overall are like double digits, except for its special attack. Special attack is 173 base. That is actually legitimately insane because that means that if Kalen was to like play it right, that Circuitry can just punch a hole through anything that the opponent throws, and like its move pool, like we were saying, like it already can like it hits a lot. It can hit a lot with Dazzling Gleam and Energy Ball, especially Dazzling Gleam being the fairy. And then for if there are no ground mons or there are no like abilities that catch electric attacks, like this can be very bad if he just wants to spam Thunderbolt.
Yo, you
Like
wanna know how strong circuitry is? Ask Dwayne.
oh boy.
Because
Yeah,
it crushed him in the players, which is like it shows the strength of the circuitry. If it gets going, it gets going, and then it will not stop.
yeah. So it's gonna be one. It's definitely gonna be something that he can definitely boast. He's. I'm already like. I'm glad I'm not in the same division with him because I think this would be a very difficult match, even with Mewtwo, Mewtwo Lele. But The next on that list is Scolipede. We know that he's got his poison type there. I believe I could be wrong, but I believe Scolipede does get toxic spikes as well if he
Yes, it
really
does.
wanted to be the guy that sets. Yeah, so he could set that pretty fast, and if he doesn't want to go with a straight up attacker, because like it does need a Swords Dance boost because it only has base 100. But it's and then with speed boost, like it can get to that like match any Pokemon really quickly. On top of having access to like Poison, Bug, has Earthquake. It gets Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail, since he's Z move, like
It's
if
Rock
he wanted
Slide,
to
right?
Rock Slide too, like if he really wanted to, like he could hit something with Iron Tail as his Z move. That's just like it's an idea out there because there's plenty of fairies that definitely would not appreciate that. On top of Rock and Ice Mons. Like if he was to face Tyranitar, like he could definitely I could see him dealing a lot of damage with that if he decided not to use any of his bug moves. But like just this is one example though. I mean like not many things can appreciate taking steel attacks. X Scissor, of course, will just help him boost bug damage. There's like there are only a few like in terms of versatility, but still can be like it can still be problematic for anybody. It's got Endeavor if he just wants to like equalize health, and then just outspeed them a moment later. Options, and there's ones he's got to be careful of. Making it Z just makes it worse, worse for us. Next up, he's got Mega Bird Jesus. He can spam Hurricane like endlessly. He can U-turn at a pretty decent speed. He can put Heat Wave in, which is a good special fire for like that since he has no guard, like accuracy is no longer an issue for him. So it's like he can spam these moves pretty well. So got Luigi.
Oh, it's a Luigi board.
Um, and so we'll get to his next then.
Yes.
While we got him. Let's see, two others then.
Breloom and Claydol.
Ooh, Breloom, the good sport. One of the few mons that gets Spore, so that's gonna be an issue. It's gonna be an issue, especially if he wants to do the classic Sash Spore combo, because then he guarantees he puts something to sleep. And then on top of that, getting Mach Punch, getting Bullet Seed with Technician, helping his Fire Water Grass Core and his Psychic Dark Fighting Core, like a pretty smart pick all around. We'll have to go back and see weaknesses, and then lastly, he's got Claydol. Unusual choice, but like it can throw rocks up, it can spin, having some psychic coverage. Like I'm just looking at stats because I'm not familiar with Claydol. Defensive stats are decent. Special attack and physical attack are kind of lackluster, but having Levitate, just nice to like take ground out of the equation altogether. But so it can't fight the ground spam, or it can handle the ground spam. Excuse me.
So yeah,
That's the overview of
something I don't like about this team in general. I've seen like it's very weak to like something that even is in his division. Mega Lucario just makes fun of this team, I think, because it's very weak to the steel fighting combination of offense. And like
yeah,
so,
Austin's ears definitely perked up, Dank.
so
Here-
that looks ugly for him, honestly, and he is in general pretty weak to fighting spam, with Xerneas being the only really good switching into fighting, with Claydol kinda sorta.
yeah, I agree.
Unless he plays Fatmans. But since he made Salamence his Z user, he is like encouraged to take the more sweepy variant, which means it doesn't want to take damage because then it can get revenge kills. So that's kind of ugly right there. And and something I don't like about his team, like other than Jirachi and like Xerneas being able to run different items and with that coming different movesets, Darkrai, Salamence, Darkrai has only like one real set in my opinion. Salaman's only two. Swampert literally only one. Entei one with like small variants. Circuitry only really one. Scalypede only really one or two. Pidgeot only one. Breloom only one. And Claydol like only one real viable set. So it's a very straightforward team.
Straightforward, but given that draft requires you to be a little unorthodox, like it could. We'll see what kind of ideas Kalen has and how it works for him, because he has decent enough mons that will like allow him to to accommodate. But we'll see how his first couple of matches go, and how he adapts, and if he has to make any trades, what does he get if he has to trade anything out. But so far, like he covered his bases, but if not having a bit of fighting spam weakness, let's see, I'd say a little bit of dragon weakness, but like Xerneas and Jirachi aside, other than that, like a little bit of maybe no, actually ground I don't see it as like kind of an issue.
The ground is something entirely weird for him because next to Mega Lucario, the worst Pokemon for him to face is probably like, how's it called, the ground ice thing, because ground
Mamoswine.
ground ice has such a great coverage and it just absolutely wrecks his team. Yes, like ground ice and fighting plus steel are like two combinations that just take down his team one by one.
Steel definitely can hit a lot on this one. Except for maybe, let's see, Jirachi, Swampert, Entei, Xurkitree. Actually, all right. So
Yeah, Mamoswine. Daniel has it right.
yeah, he's gonna have to he'll shuffle his roster accordingly, so he won't like it won't like be too exposed to the weaknesses. But against Mega Lucario, yeah, it's gonna be a problem.
Same with Mamoswine, as I said. Like, the mixture of either ice and ground or fighting steel just dents a hole in his team. And he
Yeah.
really has to play, like, the most A game he can perform to actually get the wins against those combinations. And so he's like in this curse where he has three enemies which like have great teams against his, like Mega Lucario, I talked about it earlier, just dismantled this team. Then you go one to the right. You have Ryan's team, which we already talked about with the Scrafty as a fighting and like Aegislash as and Pike, I think too, with the steel. And you have the ground on Hippowdon. So yeah, that's a bad team for him to face, honestly. And then you come to Pat's team, and Pat just runs Mac as first Pokemon, like another great Steel type. Um, Pat not having a fighting type anymore after week one because he's tried to Como. That's sad for him then, I guess, because a fighting type would really help against him. But then you come to like he actually, even with Cardinal, has ice. I don't even know if he thought about that, but that's actually hilarious. It's not a strong ice type, but it will put in work against this team. Combined with the ground type, and he has Diggersby for ground, which is even a pretty strong ground type.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what Kalen comes up with. Where do you see this team being in terms of in terms of power?
Just because I think the double type weaknesses are good to abuse against this team, and his strongest Pokemons are reliant to not take as much damage, like Darkrai, Sweeping Jirachi, Sweeping Salamence, Circuitry. They all prefer to not get damaged once. And so that's putting it somewhere in the middle for me, because he often doesn't have the capability to like outlast the opponent, even in the war of offense. So that can be a problem for him, definitely.
He's got breakers. He's got a couple breakers. He has and then he has like there's like some all around balanced options. But like I do anticipate some problems for him. But I'd still be on guard for this roster because it's like it's got plenty of things he can do right though. I'd say
What?
more top like
What's your opinion, Dwayne? I just include you
Dwayne.
randomly.
Yeah, I just checked in. Which team are we talking about?
Talking about Kalen's right now, the Chicago Black Haluchas.
we talked over each one and we're just rating it on like I put it somewhere in the middle of the pack.
1 second. We just look.
Oh, Austin is already making fun of Shield, saying to every team like top 8 team.
Hey, you said the same thing too yesterday. Don't get me. Don't
Wait,
go about
I go everywhere. I
Yeah,
go
I
where I
know.
please to go.
Austin's loving this right now, I bet.
Yeah.
I know his team looks balanced just by taking a quick glance.
Yeah, the weaknesses I pointed out is the team is very straightforward. So there are a lot of like ones that only have 1 or 2 actual sets, and the rest is like kind of for the memes. And then you have the problem that combinations like ground ice and fighting steel just take down this team on its own.
Oh yeah.
Looks like we got Quentin joining us as well. How's it going, Quentin?
His team barely has any priorities outside of extreme speed and Mach Punch, and probably a quick attack from Mega Pidgey.
From
Um,
Entei, mate.
he's got Entei will have E-Speed, but we were saying earlier that it can be predictable because E-Speed is only available on it on a certain event set. That said, like it still can be something valuable to him, but we'll see what he does with it.
Yes.
All right, I'll give you like 8, not like somewhere in the middle, but like if anything, like 7 and 6, somewhere between 6 and 10, I think. There, Austin, you happy? Not top 8. Austin with the friggin' memes, let me tell you. And since we have them both, I'd say, any closing thoughts on this one before we move on? Because
A closing thought, pick up a ghost and one of the weaknesses is helped, and then just pick up something that can take down ice and ground by itself, and you have all your bases covered.
all right, we'll share these thoughts with Kalen later. Since we've got them both around, how about we do Luigi's next?
Yeah, let's see if Luigi will be able to go away from Mario for 1 second to help us out.
That Mario being Austin. Let's see if he any comments, Austin there. Okay, so let's see. Oh, can he? I don't know. Can he talk?
No,
Heroes?
no. I'm at the DMV. I'm just letting you know I'm at the DMV, so I'll be listening.
All right.
All right. We don't have to do yours next. Then we can, if you need time,
No,
like if you want to
I have to go
comment
to
on
work
it.
after anyway, so I'll listen.
All right.
All right. So we'll do yours next, and it'll just so you get the chance to
Yeah.
listen in on it while you can.
So
all right. So,
I will start this one off because you did the last one, and I just think I kick it off now. Right off the bat, coming up with probably the best offensive psychic type out there with Jax's attack. Really
yeah, I'm scared of
strong.
that one.
That one will hurt a lot, and I'm very glad this guy is as far away from my division as possibly available, because Jax's attack is always annoying to face, even though it basically dies to like fake out from like Magikarp if it would get it. It still is dealing a lot of damage, and that's annoying.
Yeah, its defense is abysmal, but like its coverage makes up for that. Like coverage and the fact that like if you can hit hard enough, fast enough, then like it won't matter how fragile it is.
Oh yeah,
'cause
and it has E-speed itself, so it also has priority.
it has its attack and attack and special attack alone let you run a mix set anytime you want if you decided not to run all physical or all special, like, and with the move coverage it has, like, you've got E-speed, you've got Ice Beam, you got Meteor Mash, Psycho Boost, Psychic if you just wanted like stable attacking there. But even then, like you got superpower, punches, thunder wave, just if that's what you want. Yeah, options wise, like and speed wise, like he's pretty set. And in terms of attacking, he's got a pretty like good tool to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then let's keep and then back to you, Lauren.
Yeah, so we have Mega Lopunny, and I rate Mega Lopunny very highly. I think it's one of the strongest tier 3 Megas out there. It's fast, it hurts like a truck, there's no real switch in other than Kofra Gigas.
Even then, yeah, Cofagrigus is the only one that can, and on top of that, like with Scrappy, like it hits everything. So
Yeah,
like Pat with Mega Stable Eye is already like you can't block with that. That is one example.
Yeah, Kofra Gigas is the one exception because it just makes it a mummy and laughs at it and just doesn't give a fuck because it does so much defense. But yeah, otherwise Mega Lopunny hard to switch into, hard to prepare for. It has great coverage moves like Ice Punch. It can run the Fake Out. It has quick attack, so you can even run priority on it if you want. But you don't often need it because it's probably the fastest mon on the board, other than Scarf Pokemon. And that's really annoying. That's really strong. Then he follows that up. Then he follows it up with the weaker of the two Greninjas. I rate Protein higher than Battle Bond because Protein gives you more options, in my opinion. But Battle Bond is really annoying to face too. You always like with Battle Bond, Greninja, you always make yourself think, well, if I don't sack my Pokemon here and now, what if Greninja later on takes it down and just transforms, right? So you're more willing to sacrifice Pokemon that are low HP, so Greninja doesn't transform, which already gives him an edge on that end because you sometimes will just accept the defeat of one Pokemon to not give Greninja the Battle Bond.
Yeah, battle. This was something I was considering as well. If I didn't go with Lele, then Greninja Battle Bond was the next option. But then like Luigi and I had like when we were drafting, we had like equal and opposite. We had this basically the same idea. Like drafting a powerful Psychic Mon and then trying to go with the thing that'll boost it and allow it to stay unhindered. But like if he had gotten Tapu Lele, then it definitely would have been. It would be like a pretty clear victory on some fronts because that overwhelming psychic advantage that Deoxys attack has is insane. And making it worse and with priority block, it means that like nothing unless you tote something that's faster, it's basically unstoppable.
Yes, and yeah, he follows this up with a great two Pokemon core of Zygarde Zapdos, which synergize really well with one another, and yeah, so this is a great duo in my opinion. It's often seen in like even in just regular OU ladder, right? So you see this combination, and it is really effective on that. And then he has a great support with Whimsicott with like the ability to make all your ridiculously fast Pokemon even faster, to get priority defog, to get the paralysis out, to get sleep out if you wanna try your luck, and you still have the option to go down and do damage with Moonblast. You have Leech Seed on it, I think, so it has a lot of great options right there.
Lauren, I hate to admit it, but I think he might have you beat in hyper offense. I think this one is just like the number of threats that he's already lining up before we even get halfway down is like, and then the speed tier that they're all boasting. This is crazy.
Yeah, I took down my hyper offense a little to get more bulk, and that's where we'll definitely get ahead on it against him because he has way less bulk than I do. But we will get to that later on.
Yeah.
Whimsicott obviously support is on hyper offense a great support in my opinion. Can do a lot for such a low tier. Tier 4 is not really high and not really a contested tier. Chandelure is like Blacephalon mini, and Blacephalon's types are great, and therefore Chandelure's types are great. It has less of the it has way less speed, which makes it weaker overall because it gets taken down way easier, but it can do lots of damage, and it can like really mess with the opponent because you can run. I think it has Infiltrator, but
It has
it definitely gets the flash fire, so you don't want to just randomly spam fire moves against this team.
Um, it's not the bulkiest, but with 90 defense and flame body, like there's another option if he wants to run something unorthodox. Looking at its special attack though is like nothing to scoff at. With 145 base, Blacephalon only has like six points base higher. So even though it's a quote unquote mini Blacephalon, it's still an option on the table. It's still like almost as
Eh,
good as special attacker.
it's definitely up there on the damaging front, definitely. And he really pulls up. I think this next pick drops down a little, because I don't think for Relegator is really great on his team. It's decent. It's okay, but it's like I think there could have been stronger options in tier 4. I don't know. I didn't look it up. But this is a point where I think his team is already so strong and set that for Relegator only like is sitting there as like Aquachat cleanup crew or something like that. And
Well, with sheer force, it has sheer force, Dragon Dance, like it can still do plenty. It can still do plenty on its own. So like, and Swords Dance if he just wants to break stuff. 105 attack plus like Life Orb sheer force is still like
it's
definitely
damage.
decent
It's
damage.
definitely a lot of damage. Now
Yeah, so it's like
the next pick is like mixing the double fighting core Lopunny Lucario, which by the way is a great duo because Lopunny has a lot of speed and lacks priority, and Lucario has all of the priority with bullet punch and extreme speed.
yeah. Luke having E speed, bullet punch, and vacuum wave for special as the fighting priority for him on that
Yeah.
one. Elemental punches, like you've seen Lucario, even though it's not the mega form, like it can still do. It still has it has options and can still do a lot of good work for him. Plus, does he have any other steel types that helps him? It gives
He
him.
doesn't.
We'll give him his. No, he doesn't have any other steel types on here. Lucario pick, I think if he's just gonna have to worry about the bulk, but that said, like he has Zygarde, he has Zapdos, he has Nidoqueen. Okay, so bulk won't be like too much of a concern. But he definitely has like this team is definitely more on the offensive side for sure. And then
Definitely.
Lucario adding to it makes it even more.
Yeah, definitely. And Nidoqueen, just said it, is like is a bulky rock setter, so it definitely can do work. Because it also
Rock,
deals a lot of
like,
damage. It has great special coverage with T-Bolt, Sludge Wave, Earth Power, Ice Beam, Fire Blast. Like it gets quite a lot of special attacking moves, which is great. A great
oh
coverage is
yeah.
always useful. It also has sheer force. It's like less damage, more bulk Nidoking, and Nidoking we all know can deal a lot of damage.
Mhm.
And then he has
Agreed.
Scyther to round it all up. Like Scyther is also pretty fast one, honestly.
He made a good work of Scyther back in season 3. Was like when he needed to just when he was rounding off his team. I remember he took Scyther from tier 5 and like he made good use of it. It's like decently fast. Can be good for U-turn momentum, bug and just dealing bug damage. Pulling up
Is
stats right now.
is
110 special attack.
Austin actually typing in UBL transactions instead of loyalists, which literally threw me off right there. All right, weird flex, but I take.
Way to go! Way to go! Austin, you're putting it in the wrong spot.
No, he's trading his words for useless commentary.
Let's see. Lauren is definitely getting Luigi as an out of conference match. You don't need to invest your 100 KO everything. Yeah, Luigi is like going for the straight up beatdown strategy on this. So it's like
Yes.
even if there is some fragility on it, it's like if he hits first, like it in a similar way. It's like for against another offense, like whoever hits first and like gets the momentum like right away, like they're gonna win that match. And Luigi definitely can do that pretty
So,
well.
but yeah, something Daniel pointed out and which I saw already too. This team is literally like the epitome of I will just accept defeat to Weavile.
Mhm.
Because Weavile will tear this team down to shreds, like deal a lot of damage. So he basically Lucario is Scar for like takes the vacuum wave. Mega Lopunny is not allowed to take a lot of damage. So yeah, that's but Weavile takes this team like down to its core. And in general, like ice Pokemon, like or ice types, ice coverage is crazy, crazy strong against him because look at it. Deoxys attack will never take a single hit. Mega Lopunny doesn't really want to take a hit. Greninja same. Zygarde dies. Zapdos dies to ice. Whimsicott too. Chandelure prefers not to take as many hits. Feraligatr same. Lucario same. Nidoqueen gets hit super effective and Scyther gets hit super effective. So ice is just
Wow.
the downfall for him. So he really has to plan ahead.
He's gonna plan ahead for that ice weakness, so he can either balance that with with those berries. He could try to like let Feraligatr Feraligatr and Greninja like be the heroes on this team, and even Chandelure if possible. But other than that, like you have to look for other options. But that like even so, like even though Ice Beam is spammable, like it's something that can be prepared for in this case. And on top of that, like if he can win without before it even gets to like Ice Beam spam, like then I think then it wouldn't be much of an issue. But he's still got to watch his He's got to watch the type coverage, I think. But
Yeah.
otherwise, like
while you and Dwayne go over this team and start running it up, I'm quickly gone and then I will give my final thoughts and then we can go on.
Yep, sounds good.
I don't really have much to say. I was just concerned about where his defoggers or his rapid sprinters were. I feel like he has to bring Zapdos in most of his matches. That being said, Zapdos needs his core partners. I feel like the first 4 Pokemon has to be in all his matches, just based off of what he has. But I'm not too sure.
Yeah, the ice weakness is one thing that he's gonna have to be careful of, but otherwise, like, he's got Zapdos.
Defog.
Say that again.
Whimsicott also gets defog.
Yeah, and priority defog. That I did know. I don't know in terms of rapid spinners. Unless I'm missing something, I'm not sure if I see any. But otherwise, like having a couple of dedicated defoggers. Like Zapdos already runs as like a pretty like reliable like dedicated defogger. So I think like I don't think he'd be constrained on that front. What else? In terms like we were saying, like it's gonna be more on the offensive end. So like, but if like I believe like Luigi typically plays like offensive / balance more. So like I think it wouldn't be a problem for him. It's like as long as he's like playing with what he knows and able to play to those strengths well. Plus, like with with the speed tier that he's boasting, like I think bulk will be the least of his worries. And if not, like he's got Zapdos to lean on. He's got a few other options that he can customize for bulk. Other than that, like I see this one I see is like potentially like I see it like definitely up there.
I'm back.
I'm back. Yeah, I was just going over like options for like the ice thing aside, like Lauren, I was saying is like it could be a top 5 team just based on like its offensive presence just makes it like so much like harder to handle. Like only the teams like Darien and Pat may be the kryptonite to this team, maybe even Dwayne's team to an extent. Just because like those teams have like very bulky options on them. And so like those teams might be able to outlast him and strike back if he has like if provided they're not using like passive mons. But other than that, like this could be a big threat like to everybody, and this could be Luigi's to win it. for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, Luigi. Always was a strong contender. So honestly, I would wish he could get the overall W, because he has put up quite a show already all the time. So yeah, that's
Number one
he
seed
is
back to
great.
back. Number one seed in back-to-back seasons. I don't know his season 1, 2, and 2 record, but like he's gotten to playoffs 2 seasons in a row. He's gotten to finals 2 seasons in a row. So, and like with this offensive, with the options that he's picked up, like he's definitely like I'll easily see him going to playoffs again, if not even if not just also getting the number one seed as well. So this is definitely a draft you got to watch out for.
Destined for greatness.
Yeah, it's Destined for Greatness written. It's written there like I'm gonna hate fighting this one because it's gonna be a beatdown match of who can win first, like or not win first, but like who can strike first, get the momentum going. Sure.
I gotta look something up real quick. I wanna see this.
Austin's got something quippy to say. I can sense it. He's typing. Yeah.
No, that's what I'm talking about. I just looked something up. Shield, I have to send it to you, but you're not allowed to share, obviously. You will see why.
What? Oh boy.
But this is something very hilarious. This basically defines me as a player, guys. I'm coming up with weird shit. Don't expect me to not do this. Copy. Where's Shield? I'm gonna send it to Pat too in this chat. This is great. I sent it. This is just literally great.
Oh man, stats, dang.
That's
Well,
hilarious, mate. You have to admit.
I think without the context, everyone thinks you're a madman right now.
I am. Even with context, people would think I'm a madman.
I think Austin's about to agree with that.
Great.
See him typing.
Oh, Austin's typing. This is. I was, but
I
Lauren
was the
said it
Lauren
first.
said it first.
Yeah, like okay, I'm a madman, and I already have something funny. This is actually funny. All right. Yeah. So.
Closing thoughts on Luigi. If you got any last thoughts you want to share on anything we may have said or disagreements, anything before we move on.
Clearly a team that doesn't want to get damaged.
Even doesn't want to get damaged, but can dish it right back in tenfold.
Yeah, that's if you follow One Piece, I don't know if you do. There's the impact dial, which can store energy from a hit, and literally 10 times the shockwave of the attack, and throw that right back at people. That's fun. And that's Luigi's team.
Yeah.
Impacto. Yeah, I love One Piece, so expect a lot of One Piece reference when I'm like not talking to other people, like if I do a video alone.
Yeah, I'm kind of one. I sometimes follow One Piece, but haven't followed in a while. I'm due to school.
Too many episodes.
Yeah, that too. That's one of the deterrents. All right. We have 2 rosters left. We're done with Ula Ula division. We are done with Melee Melee. We got Pony and Akala. So we
all
can
down to
do
2.
Quinton's or we can do Josh's.
So I guess we go to Quinton because he is also here in the voice, so he can listen in.
All right. So we will save Josh's for last then. All right. So I'll take the lead on this one then.
Quinton is Nazareth, right?
Yes, he is. Nazareth Necrozma. right off the bat, he
Ubertal.
was the second overall pick, and let me tell you, he used it particularly well because he took Eviltal right away, and oh my goodness, that's already a terrifying pick to deal with because spam it like with Dark Aura, he can spam Dark Pulse, he can get recovery with its Oblivion Wing,
Sucker Punch. Foul Play.
U-turn, foul play, yeah. He's like Eviltal is one of those, and it's like in Ubers, it's one of the most like it's one of the, like the highest viability mons alone. So like this is already gonna be like just on that alone, like you can win games with just Eviltal, but like and just drafting support just makes it even worse to deal with. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to playing this one if I'm gonna have to because we're in the same conference. It looks so bad.
Fun fact.
Next pick.
Fun fact,
What's up?
I enjoy the pure fact that we had the Deoxys attack team and now we have the Deoxys speed team.
Nice. Support Deoxys defense. Nobody took Deoxys. Austin took Deoxys base. Luigi took attack. Quentin took speed. Nobody took defense.
Yeah, because
No
defense
love.
is the worst Deoxys.
Hey man, you should draft it just so you can run those counter mirror coat shenanigans.
Bro, what do I look like? Am I a joke to you?
Well, you are a mad scientist, so you would run it. Austin says you should draft Wobbuffet.
Man, I would be the first guy to draft a fully offensive Wobbuffet. And I would find a way to get a win with that.
I think you or Pat, you Germans are insane. Going down the list. All right, this is the part where Quentin, I know you're listening. I know you're just sniping me just so you can take my favorite tools. You took my Mega Zardax, and you just on that, like it's going to make me sad if I fight you and then I have to beat Mega Zardax. You really like pulling on my heartstrings there, man. But
to be fair, you're expecting to beat him, which is a big balls claim right there.
yeah, because Eviltal can do a lot of damage to my roster. So like I would like beating him is already going to be a problem. Let alone if I even get it. Like if I'm going to be planning so hard for Eviltal that like everything else will just destroy me anyways. So I'm going to have to really plan this carefully because I know I'll have to face Quentin at some point. Yeah, but anyways, neutral discussion now. Mega Charizard X gives him Fire and Dragon. It comes in as Fire Flying, so it's going to be a problem if we get Rocks up. So if he can account for that, like he can set up Dragon Dance, he can use Will-O-Wisp, Roost, like he's got options with Mega Charizard X, and Fire Dragon typing with Tough Claws like gives him like a very powerful sweeping front. Plus, like with 100 base speed is already fast, and then its attack just makes it even worse. Plus, like it has enough special attack to run if he's trying to avoid like things like Ferrothorn where he doesn't want to wear it out. Like he can run Flamethrower because its special attack is still like 100. It's still base 130, which interestingly is the same as its physical attack. So I'm not sure what the developers were thinking on that because they turned Megazard Y into a total special attacker, whereas Megazard X has both stats and prefers physical. So I don't know, but he can. What I'm saying is he can afford to run it if he's trying to avoid contact. Also was also a old favorite of mine. 348 max speed plus a beast boost.
Quick shout out to Shield for his paper boy with grass.
Quick shout out to Lauren for picking this guy having an alien too. Hey, love aliens everywhere, man, but that's okay. It's a great physical mon, if not for that annoying fighting weakness and double fire weakness. Especially since like Flamethrower, Fire Blast are more commonly run, especially on non-fire mon. So and plus this thing is so specially fragile that not even a berry might be able to save it, but otherwise like this thing will like burn up quickly like paper. Now he can cover that with his next choice, Tornadus Therian with Regenerator. That gives him like bulk that he can easily use, plus a very high speed tier. Because its defense is like it's okay, but like if he was to run an assault vest, like he could definitely tank those hits. Plus, like he's taken two mons that put me in the finals in season 3.
Yeah,
Not to mention he's got slow, another regenerator. God, this guy went straight for the bulk right away, and he got his offense and he got his defense backbone immediately. If not like a little weak to electric on both those fronts. Even Kartana, who has the grass resistance, won't be able to take too many thunderbolts due to its abysmal special special defense.
yeah, circuitry actually one-shots it.
Yeah, Zerkatry will do if Quinton faces Kalen can actually do a lot of damage with Zerkatry. Unless
And
he was
to
to get
flip
to
it
Megazord.
around, you only need like 20 HP on circuitry, so Katana can't one-shot circuitry anymore. Which people often don't know, because circuitry is actually more bulky than it looks.
Yeah. Quinton says Pikachu. I'm pretty sure Pichu one-hit KOs Kartana. This I actually want to calculate now.
Pichu, Thunderbolt, let's go. No, it's not that bad. Like I think circuitry did like 125% or something like that min. So it actually isn't that bad, because it still is a resist, right?
I mean, its base special defense is 31. That's pretty low.
That's as much base special defense as Eevee's. I don't see the problem.
Fair enough. Also, Deox, and comparing to Luigi's, his Deoxys defense is 20. So like there is worse, but like it's still like fragility is a thing for that one. He's already, I'm gonna like Charizard X might be able to tank it, unless but like Kartana will have some difficulty, and I don't see how like electric is gonna be a problem for him, but let's keep going. So he's got his electric, he's got his steel type right there, plus along with Kartana. So he's got another option. He's opening himself a bit to ground, especially with Mega Charizard X in the mix. Now he took another favorite of mine on this next one, Ribombee. I had it for 2 seasons straight. Really fast bug fairy. Really can set those webs so that speed won't be an issue for him. It can quiver dance up and get boost in its special attack. So like it can spam Moonblast, Bug Buzz, Hidden Power if needed.
Just as we get to the lower third of this draft, I just want to ask you something, Shi, because he seemed to snap you. Was it bugging you just when you get to Ribombee? It's a very important question.
Well, actually, like I wasn't. Ribombee this time was not on my list of like things I wanted. I found it. I did find it funny when just I was like, oh wow, he took 3 of my old favorites. So really
Austin immediately catch the joke and was like, God damn it, Lauren, God damn it.
Yeah, I was like, Quinton's great. I love the guy. I just found it funny and was like, damn, he's straight up taking pages out of my book right now. Like it's gonna carry him.
Or as I said it yesterday, taking books out of my pages.
Yeah, books out of your pages. You are really strange there, but like, still, this is gonna be.
Did you just call me strange, mate? Do you even listen to yourself?
Dr. Strange. They call me Dr. Strange. Just kidding. They don't call me Dr. Strange.
Take Lando incarnation, but got sniped.
But even so, like, Edwin set the tone for the draft in the beginning when they took Marshadow and Yveltal. But then again, like, people knew they were going to go at first. If they don't take it, then others would have definitely gone for those.
Yes.
It's like, this is just too valuable. And then on top of that, like, he's already he can easily boast a mixed front with Yveltal, but more on the special side. And then he's got Charizard and Kartana for the physical attacking components. And then Tornadus can do is like good fast offensive support with Regenerator. Slowbro to outlast. Magnezone it will be a bit on the slower side, so he's gonna need Rabambi with those webs to really like help Magnezone shine, especially and also with Conkeldurr as well. Also on the slower side, but hits hard.
He doesn't
good fighting.
have access to stun spore, correct?
Say again.
Ribombee has access to stun spore.
Yes, it does.
Yep.
It's a good point. It does. It's very much. It's fast enough that it can deal those statuses right away. So that's going to be a problem for anybody who can't match Rabambi. Like Rabambi, also, I believe. I don't think you can flinch Rabambi. I think its ability Shield Dust prevents you from secondary effects. So I believe that means like any Iron Head spam wouldn't be able to flinch it if it was like if you were to open with a sash Rabambi and like throw down webs, like it's gonna throw down webs unless you hit it with a multi attack.
Incoming Greninja just throwing out the water shurikens, one-shotting it because its defenses are very bad.
That's true. Only two. You've got Protein Greninja and
Luigi's
got
got
the
Battle Bond.
Bond. You will definitely have to something for Luigi to consider, like using Greninja against that Rabambi, but that's going to be case by case, and it may not always work out that way. But we'll see. Anyways, let's keep going. He took Hoopa C, Psychic Ghost, the type which is it still has plenty of power in its own right. If he wants to play the slower game, like he could set the Trick Room. Let me just pull up Hoopa's stats.
It has a lot of special attack and some decent special defense.
Bulky. If not for that type weakness, it could tank a Dark Pulse, but otherwise, like that Psychic Ghost thing is really like it's a hindrance on some fronts. It still could work though, like, but he's gonna be like vulnerable to knockoff. So that may be a problem, but like it has decent speed. Still decent, and then having that special attack was just like will help carry it. It's not Hoopa Unbound, but like it's still plenty threatening.
All right. If you just try to mixing Hoopa Unbound here, Hoopa Unbound in general is just a stupidly strong Pokemon, so we should not compare stuff to Hoopa Unbound.
Hoopa Unbound just breaks everything. Period. It's slightly faster. It has great attack and special attacks. So I'm like, but Hoopa C will still like. I think if he plays it right, can still carry his team. It's still like a pretty valuable special attacker that can break through. Like he's got breakers on his team. I would be concerned against Quinton. And then lastly, he's got Miltank, aka the Nightmare of Gen 2. Thanks for the PTSD on that one. That's scrappy. Interesting.
Yeah, people see Miltank rolling and see it hating.
Oh yeah. With Scrappy, like it can definitely it can use Seismic Toss against anything at that point. So like if he wants to play the bulky set with that, like that could be a problem. Plus like Milk Drink Toxic, Stealth Rock Setter.
And this thing is actually surprisingly fast for how fat it is.
Yeah. Speed being it's base 100 speed. That's something. That's really something. Austin's gonna be like, I ate that cow for breakfast back in Gen 2, and we know that's a lie because it ate everyone else for breakfast.
Honestly, Austin doesn't look like the guy that eats breakfast. He looks like the guy that just eats all you can eat all the time.
Oof. Some. Let's see.
Easily. I mean, it's like, yeah. But your Torterra is now level 46, and that means nothing, because nothing happens at level 46 ever.
Yeah, it's hard to get to level 46. Difficult, tough times.
It's actually like real life. At this point of age, it's really tough to get level 46 with the world going the way it is.
Yeah, good times. Let's finishing up on Quinton's. We got He's got Deoxys speed already right there. He has the fastest mon in the entire game. And like with base 90 with like 95 attack and special attack, like he can if he doesn't want to use it as high speed support, like he can easily use it as an all out attacker with like, and he wouldn't have to like go with the speed nature because even without investing in speed, it already like outspeeds everything.
Wait, what is
even
what is its defense again? Like 1 or something like that?
actually Deoxys
It's
speed's
95.
defense is
90
90
defense. Hello.
on both defense and special defense.
Yeah, but its HP is pretty low, so the defense isn't as valuable.
True,
If I
but
remember correctly.
it's not paper thin like the other Deoxys forms though. So like
Oh yeah, it's not as paper thin as Deoxys defense.
okay, that one will tank, but like
It's not as bad as Deoxys attack.
Deoxys attack they all have the same HP,
Yeah,
but
Deoxys attack has worse defense.
And Deoxys base and Deoxys speed have like decent defenses. Deoxys defense obviously has like phenomenal defenses, but nobody picked it.
Yeah, probably because Deoxys defense is just giving away like pressure to the opponent, because they can just like, you know, if they have a substitute and they start setting up on it, it will suck for you. It will really suck.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Any idea? I pointed out the electric flaw earlier. Because it doesn't have any like dedicated ground types that'll be able to tank those electric hits. So that'll be something he has to worry about. But in a similar respect to how Luigi had his, like this one is draft more on the offensive side. That like he can easily set up support and to help his like heavy hitters. But on the same time, he'll also be more reliant on those heavy hitters.
Can I also just point out how stupidly fast Deoxys speed is just by the fact that it basically nearly wouldn't need a Scarf to outspeed like Halucha in electric terrain, which is retarded.
For the memes, he should just run like max speed, Deoxys speed plus Scarf, and therefore nothing,
Yes.
nothing even with like agility will ever be able to catch that.
That thing is just like, don't get me wrong, I don't say retarded because like to put someone down or something like that. It's more of how stupidly crazy that speed is.
Yeah, no, he doesn't even like he can avoid like any speed invest, and like he could try to like he could easily like make a different kind of set for support or for offensive purposes. Like Deoxys speed, I think, was a good choice for like what he can do with it. Like, so he's not short on options. Plus, he doesn't have to worry about speed. Plus, he can control speed with webs and stun spore. So something I see Quinton's draft as a threatening one as well.
Probably top 8 for you, right?
Not top 8, but like I think, yeah, and E-speed. Thank you. That's right. Already on top of like if it needed to go any faster.
Yeah.
But
Also, I'm not trying to
part
backtrack. I'm just making things clear because some people get offended by it, but I don't see the value in getting offended by something like that. But I still will clear up that it's not meant to put someone down or whatever.
Yeah.
I actually like the pickup on Conkelder. Like I'm looking at his whole entire team and I noticed water and dark moves are pretty spammable, but I noticed Conkelder gets guts, which protects the Scold a lot, the Will-O-Wisp.
I
has
actually
coverage.
want to look at Conkeldurr because I lag. You just lagged
Yeah.
out really hard.
Conkelder, let's see, facade plus guts. Oh my goodness! And with that attack power.
Okay. No, you don't. And like, imagine because he predicts the Scald burning him at one point, he's just like going choice band on top of that.
Yeah, you cannot burn this thing. Once you do, it's Like, so scalding this thing is not a wise choice because like with Facade, like it's gonna hurt. Plus with that base 140 attack, like that's something painful, especially with Mach Punch. So unless you have priority block, like it's gonna be problematic. So this is something I'm gonna have to watch for whenever I fight him, let alone anybody, because he's got threats. Quinton, anything to add? Tears?
I wish I had a ground type.
It was the most epic setup. Like, oh yeah, it's XYZ, and we just talk, like, oh yeah, owner, do you have something to say about it? Yeah, I wish I had a ground type.
Good setup, very nice. I like it.
It was just
I was
so
gonna pick up Needle.
stoic.
I was gonna pick up Needle King or Needle Queen, but that would have compounded ice.
Right.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good call though, because it would have like added the weakness. Would have ended, but still. Also, seeing what's left. I'm not sure. Not sure what
I'm looking
ground.
through it right now.
Like, bolt beam coverage is just stopped by Magnezone at the moment. That's actually quite painful.
Yeah. Let's see. How's the fighting spam? Let's see. Yveltal takes neutral. Charizard, when in X form, take neutral. Kartana's super effective. Well, Slowbro and Therian will be able to block the fighting spam pretty nicely. Plus, regenerate the damage, so you're not shy there. It's the electric spam I'm be worried about for you, though.
Gastrodon.
Definitely.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was saying I was looking at Gastrodon maybe a possibility for his team.
You literally Austin even typed that earlier. Get yourself a
Austin and
Gastrodon.
Dwayne are on the same brainwave right now. It's crazy.
Get yourself a Gastrodon. You was a genius.
Oh, he's the genius. Where's Gastrodon on here? It's tier 5.
I actually love this. Actually love this talk because, you know, I talk with friends of mine on regular, so I expect some of the typical answers from them. But when you talk to people, you don't talk to as much. Just type. You type differently than you talk, and it's hilarious how these reactions are something like, "Oh, you guys are genius." Like he looked at all tier 5s, be like, Gastrodon, I don't need a ground type. Oh wait, I need a ground type. I just imagine stuff like that. I know that never happened, but I just imagine these stuff. Probably it's just me being weird, but don't want to. I just
Now,
love
what
that.
happened? What normally happens when it comes around to my time, I usually have a Pokemon chosen. We call it choose.
All right,
And by the
it's
time I get
straight
off
in the
of work,
juicer.
by the time I get off of work, I'm like, oh, okay, let's get that or that. I didn't even see Gastrodon. Okay, Gastrodon about to get added because besides freeze dry and the rare hidden power grass or grass coverage, I think I'm pretty sure I have grass covered up between Deoxys, Tornadus, Magnezone. Yeah, Gastrodon about to get added. Goodbye, something. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out.
Damn, you
Shoot,
got Austin.
Miltank gets Sap Sipper, so I'm not really worried about grass.
Well, you got Austin to thank for that one, and Dwayne.
Yeah, I didn't think about Gastrodon at that point because I was not thinking about how to improve the team of specific ones. But I would have said something along the lines of, yeah, ground type, maybe look that it doesn't die to ISO. It would have gone the same way in one way, but specifically Gastrodon, really smart call there. I always like my battles with Quinton because Quinton is just it was always fun playing him. I played him like first season 1 when I didn't even got to draft my own team, and I will never remember like Dusclops taking like a million hits and not going down. I was like, wait, this is actually not happening.
Your Dusclops was like on crack. It would not fall. I went back and watched that. Like,
I
it was crazy.
it was actually we have to watch the replay at one point, Shield. You have to watch the season 1 replays, some of them. But honestly, Quinton got me
Oh.
back last season. Last season, on season 4, he got me back by just actually destroying me.
No.
Yeah.
You messed up. I think you said you miscalculated your flame charge from
Blacephalon,
Michael
that didn't.
Jackson Alien.
Michael Jackson. I got a name by Blacephalon Michael Jackson. No, I did mess up because I wanted it to get the speed boost after it, but it got the special attack boost because I didn't give it 20 special attack but 24, and that made it so that it got special attack instead of speed, which fucked me over. But you still basically just destroyed me with that. Like, it was my bad, but you won, so you got me back.
I'll never forget my season 3 match against Quinton, where I messed up on Suicune. I messed up on one move that basically would have costed me the game, and then out of nowhere, I used Electivire for the very first time, landed an ice punch that froze, and that basically floored his game because I was able to set up after that. But I won that
Oh, I
match.
forgot about that.
I love how he remembers the season 1
Oh,
Dust
that's
Clops.
PTSD.
I love how he remembers the season 1 stupid as fuck, like bullshit tank Dust
I
Clops,
forgot about that ice
but
punch.
that ice punch us way later. Oh
It was
boy.
like everyone thought I was crazy for bringing Electivire, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give this guy a try this week, and he did it somehow. He pulled off like I actually had messed up, and I was on track to lose that after that, but then like Electivire saved my ass on that.
Yo,
Pretty sure you had like Serene Grace Electivire or something like that.
Had to have been. Yep, you got me. Dang, it must have been like not. It's like brought in 90% ice punch chance as opposed to 10.
Oh
I tried
boy.
to set on Quentin last season. I think we played about 2 to 3 battles, and it was one particular match where I had my Mega Scizor in front of his Quellafish, and I thought it was just set up bait. Since he kept putting up spikes and toxic,
Hidden Power Fire.
and he hit me with a hidden power fire.
hey,
This
hidden power.
Hidden power is a thing in this. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why nobody used it in minors. It's
Hidden powers actually make the best baits. We had the meme Zapdos killing Lando on the first turn. We had the hidden power fire Quillfish. We had some very funny moves. We had some very funny moves.
When Luigi fought Pat Osborne, like he had to put hidden hidden power fire on like 5 of his mons, and he just for the Scizor. And then he just needed Cobalion to just go in and wreck it. Like it was it was
Oh,
amazing. I was just like, he just showed us the team after the fact. He's like, yeah, I just had hidden power fire on everything.
Yeah, I will show you some of the season 1 matches, mate. You will love them, and season 2 for that matter, because season 2 was the season I wanted to try out if I can play bulk, and I went like 8-8, and I felt really bad, so I got back to my roots after that.
Well, before we go further, and we got any closing thoughts on Quinton's as
As
don't know.
always, Quinton's team is interesting, but I don't see it as like a major threat. It got points where you can crack it down, like the missing a ground type entirely, having a small problems with certain types in general. And so you can pick this team apart, especially with stuff like Porygon Z, because Porygon Z on my team, or like a Genesect on the Arizona Terriers, can put up a lot of pressure with just these base 90 hit 100% accuracy, flamethrower, and T-Bolt Ice Beam, which all three just deal massive blows to his team at the moment. And the Gastrodon pickup, if he goes to the transactional and just figures out what he wants to throw out for that, obviously will help with that. But then he has to wait till week 2, and then that still dies to the grass coverage that you could put on some of these mons. So there's room to improve, but it can be better with the Gastrodon, and then maybe with like 1 or 2 smaller switches, it would help out a lot. But before that, it's not their biggest of threats in my opinion.
I like this team outside of just not having a stable cleric and not being able to like how can I say it? He does like putting toxic spites on his side of the field is detrimental to his team. Other than that, I feel like his team is perfect.
Well, as always, execution is going to be the big decider. So we'll see how he pulls it off. But knowing Quinton, I think he can definitely like pull off a lot, especially with just Evital alone, and then also with Rabambi with Rabambi and Deoxys providing the support.
With the shield core.
with the shield core, yeah, with the shield core.
Yeah, no, the shield core is bad. I don't know a single good player that ever used it, so.
Oh, 13-2. Give me a break.
Yeah, oh my, this is great. This is great times.
Anyways,
what does Quinton have? He doesn't have a ground type, right?
Yes.
yeah, and we just told him where to get one.
Which one?
Gastrodon.
Because it's not weak to ice.
No. Which one? Which ground type?
Yeah, Gastrodon.
He wants Gastrodon.
Oh,
That's
okay.
option. Oh, he saw. Okay, that was the most disappointed Luigi I've ever heard. Okay.
No, I don't care about Gastrodon. I was just
Alright.
wondering which ground, because I knew that he was just inviting electric spam if he didn't have one.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
He was. Luigi was already sitting there, like planning out his choice bags, Zapdos. Good times.
All right. So, no other thoughts. We got one last one to go over, and that would be the Sedona Score Bunnies, aka Josh's.
Oh, that's Josh. Oh my god, I was always wondering who picked this.
Mhm.
I had no idea.
Oh my goodness, Josh has like details on details for everything he picked.
How about we just don't read it and just act like we've read it earlier?
Fair enough.
Which team is this?
This is the Sedona Score Bunnies in the Pony Division.
Right next to my draft. Oh yeah, here's a way shorter about that, so I will not read the super long one because I will not deal with that shit.
Oh, thank you, Austin.
All right.
Got everything.
We gotta go the quick route, and I'm gonna make this very quick. Naganado, it's fast and it stinks. Clefable, what setup sweepers? MG is god to, I suppose. Ferrothorn, how to take steal and poison moves to Clefable hates 101. Tyranitar, breaking news, police pursuit. Their psychic type trying to switch out. Thunderous Incarnation, Voltron, haha, it flies too. Gengar, no rapid spinning allowed, good sir. Mienshao. Hey, that's a Mienshao is a great Pokemon. I love that. Mienshao, it gets you turn too. Time to miss high jump, my high jump kicks. That's what I do, mate. Metagross, the need for physical attackers is real. Bro, you just picked Mienshao. You don't need this. And you have T-Tar. What are you saying? Sand Slash. It's a Sand Sonic. It rapidly removes those hazards. Yeah, true. Reshiram, finally a fire type, along with another ground weak one. Blastoise Mega. Can't hurt to have another spinner. Am I right? Shaman Sky, 60%. Fuck ground types too. Alright. That was a quick rundown. And yeah. Let's just go over piece by piece.
Yeah.
Dwayne,
I
think Dwayne should kick this off because I did one, you did one on the last Earth. So Dwayne can kick us off.
I'm not familiar with this that T2.
Naganadel?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dragon poison fucker with a lot of speed that deals massive amounts of damage and has beast boost, so it's an alien.
Oh, it's one of those aliens. Okay. Clefable, a fan of mine's, having access to Magic Guard, having the ability to do a life form. It learns everything from Thunder Wave
Yeah, but
So,
just to make it clear, he swapped the Naganadel because
yeah.
he picked the Serene Grace Overlord in Shaman Sky. So you can just talk
Oh
about Shaman
god.
Sky.
Shaman Sky will do a lot alone as it is, even if it is Ice Beam weak.
So yeah, Dwayne, you can also just talk about Shaman Sky.
I don't know about Shaman Sky neither. Like I don't.
Oh, Shaman Sky is Shaman in the sky. It is a grass. It is grass flying. It has Serene Grace on Air Slash and Seed Flare, and you can imagine an 80% chance to drop your opponent's special defense by 2 stages is really disgusting. It also has the 60% flinch chance of Legendary Air Slash, which also is very annoying, and it has Earth Power because why not? Combine that with all the it has all the moves of Shaman, so it also has like the Sludge Wave or Sludge Bomb or one of those. It has the Leech Seed to piss people off. Yeah, it's really annoying. It's really annoying.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats right now. It's pretty fast. It has 127 speed, 120 special attack. Marathon has access to T-Stock, Thunder Wave, Rock. This one I'm
We're
gonna
losing you,
choose
Dwayne.
on all your matches. Tyranitar. It's hard to. It's good. It's a dark type, dark and rock. It has access to Dragon Dance. You can run any set that you want. But again, him and Ferrothorn weakens fighting types. Thunder Insurate. I don't know. Hello?
Hello? Alright, Dwayne just lagged and now just was just gone. What the hell? This
Yeah,
is
he's gone. Dang.
what the hell? This was crazy. He was lagging all the time. Just, hello, and now gone. Well, that escalated quickly.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
some.
Alright. Oh, he's back.
Alright.
Yeah.
Whew.
Where did we leave? Thunderous still?
Yeah, you were on Thunderous.
Thunderous just having that electric and flying type is very good. I believe it has 145 special attack with Volt Exorb that covers most of his team. Gengar. Are we using Levitate for this season?
Wait, no, the other Thunderous is the prankster shit, right?
Yeah. So most of his Pokemon I've never really used before. Minsha I know has access to Regenerator, Fake Out, U-Turn, High Jump Kick. I believe it has.
I like how Dwayne, all that Dwayne knows about Mienshao, he knows about what I used like every season. Yeah. Yeah, it has Reckless and Regenerator, and it has Fake Out and U-Turn, and the High Jump Kick, and Stone Edge, and Poison Jab. So it can basically damage everything out there. That's great.
Metagross. That Cycling Steel type is a good combination. Having access to Priority, very good. And Headbutt works. Clear Body, I believe that's Clear Body. So none of that Intimidate won't work.
I think one thing that he's definitely going to have to be careful of for sure is I mean, now with Shaman Sky in the mix and Thunderous, like he kind of avoids the ground spam, but everything else is like definitely will either neutral it or will take the hit, take a special hit, take a super effective hit, because like remember that a long time ago now that the Gengar lost Levitate, one that it used to have, but like Tyranitar, Metagross, Reshiram will all take Earthquake. Well, they can't take an Earthquake as well. Maybe Reshiram could tank it for a bit, but everything else will then take neutral. So he's gonna really have to play those those immunities to ground.
Which opens him up to, you guessed it right, the legendary ground ice combination that we have already talked about earlier that people are weak to somehow.
Yeah, it's a thing. Sadly, but it is.
It's true. Sand Slash is pretty unique. I believe it has access to knockoff.
Yes, it
Well,
has. Holy shit! Even this mad lad talks about with the worst microphone. Oh, in this background, there's just a party. Darian! Oh my lord! What the hell was that? Alright, you can keep on going, Dwayne.
yeah, I'm looking at restaurant stats right now. He's beast. 150 special attack, 120 special defense, 90 speed.
Dwayne, we're losing you.
Yeah, we are losing him again. My bad, friends. Lecture went to break. All right. Yeah, it was just like weird, mate, because there was so many background noises and it sounded like the worst microphone ever.
Don't know, but again, he's weak against ground. Having Blastoise is another versatility Pokemon. Being able to rapid spin. I believe it has access to the dark. Overall, I kind of like this team.
Yeah, I take a different approach on this team. I would never play this team because it neither fits my playstyle other than like Mean Chao and Gengar and Naganadel. But it also has like the most spammable weakness with like ground and ice is a very very common like tool to combine with ground and that's like some painful weaknesses and I like the Shaman Sky pickup because Naganadel just makes his ground weakness even worse and so Shaman Sky at least yeah. Does it hurt to be that stupid? Oh yeah, it does hurt to be that stupid. I was asked this a lot of times. It does hurt sometimes if you like walk in a wall or something like that, or against a wall, not in the wall. In a wall would also hurt a lot though. Yeah, that can be painful.
In terms of damage, I'm concerned of like that he's gonna be like because of how his team is structured. Like, yeah, he's got Shaman to spam the Serene Grace attacks, like with like spam air slash hacks or even like spamming like Seed Flare. So like he could have some breaking ability there, but other than that, like I'm a little concerned just like on the offensive front that he's forced to lean on Reshiram more than he hopes, or Shaman more than he hopes, but and even Tyranitar, which makes him I feel like gives him some limitations, but also like it could work to his favor because he has like some bulky options, especially with Ferrothorn and with Clefable. It's still something. And like with Mean Shao able to take to U-turn regenerate, like that's going to be valuable to him, but it may also leave him kind of limited. We'll see where he goes with this though.
Yeah.
Knowing
So
Clefable, you can pretty much tell what type of team he's gonna run if d- depending on which type of Clefable set he brings. Like figure out the rest of the team depending on Clefable or Ferrothorn, because those are like the staples to the group that you may see in every map. Just looking at the team.
Yeah, I think his problem is that he has only like very limited switch-ins because he has no like insane like super defensive wall. His only regenerator is Mienshao, which is not there to take hits. So It doesn't. Most of those things don't want to take damage at all and can't restore if they take damage really well. Yeah, even like his Clefable being the exception, obviously. Uh, the it can take some hits, but also its defenses are not the best, right? It's very good against setup sweepers because of its ability, and its base stats are decent for that. But it's not like an insane wall. It doesn't have like insane defense or special defense. It just is pretty good in setting itself up, and taking hits. But from sweepers, but like stuff with a high base it damages, like for example the scissor I see on the Venusaurs, right? That will deal a lot of damage.
Yeah, we're gonna see where he goes with this, but otherwise, I'm looking at this draft more in like like ranked wise in like the middle of the road, where it's like it's got middle on like the lower end, just because like it has some good assets, but it also like it is lackluster on some fronts, so um. I don't know. I mean, Josh has always also been a creative player, so I'd like to see where he goes with this, but it's looking it power wise, it's not. I'm not completely sold on it. Um, okay, what do you guys think on this?
Yeah, I don't know. It's for me also lower middle somewhere there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, any closing thoughts on this one? Dwayne, Austin, Darian, Dwayne, Lauren, anybody
Quentin can obviously finish off.
or Quentin? Yeah, Quentin, if unless you're busy. Otherwise, like anybody, anybody really.
Yeah, I got something. Y'all almost made me late to school. That is all.
Damn, Quentin with these
Oh.
one-liners. I'm loving. That's 2 in a row. Love it, man. Love it.
I literally just pulled up to my school and parked the bus.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I think this is a different type of team for Josh. Typically, he just drafts like full on power, but this time it doesn't really seem that he's gone that route. Maybe he'll do better with it because in the past he's drafted like Kyubi, all these good mons that could like dent a hole in anybody else's team. But he never really knew how to utilize them. So maybe this time with a different approach, he'll do better.
Yeah, and
Good.
honestly, it will be fun to see if some people perform better, like the last seasons, like for example, Josh, who always like had obviously got his wins, right? He's not fodder. He was no free win by any means. He was still good, but he didn't get the best out of the mountains most of the times because I think it was sometimes tough for him to execute like the game plan his team provided him, and it will be interesting to see him on a very different game plan.
Yeah, agreed. It could be good for him. Austin is always saying free wins for me, but we may be surprised at like well when we see these pieces at work, Josh may surprise us. And
Yeah.
if he shuffles, if he uses his free, I mean he already burned one on him to get rid of Nagan Adele, but I think like if he uses his other two and gets and to change it up, it could change the game for us as well. Like we'll see where he goes with this. Looking forward to it.
Austin like, oh,
Um,
I beat him 3 times last season. Well,
and it's time for the fourth one to be a loss then.
yeah, I mean, new season, right?
Yeah, new season, new shenanigans.
It's the same thing with Darian. Obviously, I have a good record against him, but he will just. I am not confident in my matchup against him this season. His team can do well versus mine if he plays it outright. So yeah, it's always the day performance. It's always the teams that face up this time and not the last few times, and it will always be that way. And if Right. So this is the final team we had to look at. So we have finished all teams. We looked at all teams. We talked about all teams, and Patrick and Shield and myself and maybe Dwayne if he wants to join us, because he was here like for a long time now and talked a lot and gave a lot of input. We'll come up with like a top five for each single one of us. So I will put up a top five. She will put up a top five, and Pat and maybe Dwayne if he wants to join, and then we will like combine, make a combined top five to like the top five of like us all with different views on the teams, with different aspects, and that will be very interesting, even for me, because I only think about five teams that I think are top five, but Pat has a very different view and Sheila has a very different view. So this will be very interesting to talk about then.
Yeah, and on that note, I think like if anybody else, especially the ones tuning in right now, like if since they've listened to all the commentary thus far and contributed here and there, like if they want anyone who wants to submit like a top five, like be interesting to see everyone's perspective. In fact, like something I should just like I'll put in the chat when this is done. Like everybody should be contributing. Like where do they think everyone's teams realistically stand, and as they are now before we even begin. We could do a video on that on another series, or you could just do a list and just like we'll put an aggregate list for everyone to see like who stands where.
Yeah, and we might actually be able to be like to do something I already did. Studio power ranking bits. But yeah, we will probably do that with the top five, bottom five. I don't know. I think power ranking every single team can be
I
tough
think
on
we should
some
get
teams, but we could try that. But definitely the top five are the most interesting for me.
yeah, I think we want
All
to
right,
get
on the spot before you guys leave, who is your top team? Just on the spot, off the top of your head.
Oh boy, I have to really quickly look at all the teams again for that.
There was one in the pony division that I really liked. Not mine though. The I
again.
Yeah, we didn't hear you.
Los Angeles Venusaur. I think that's like within the top
Marquez.
five.
Edwin.
Okay, Edwin.
I it's a close call between Luigi and Shield for me. But I think Shield takes the cake finally for me, because his team has so much raw power, so many ways to break teams down, so many different ways to face every opponent, a strong backbone with Lele, Mewtwo, and just the insane amount of damage these Pokemon can dish out. Even makes like the most defensive teams look like they are basically fodder. And his only problem will be probably to see how he faces up against opponents that just outspeed him, because his fastest mons are not that great with Scarf like Mewtwo. Or Garchomp is like, I have mixed feelings on that. But otherwise his team is like actually insane.
There are a couple of changes that I may or may not make to it. I want to see how it performs first before I go those routes, though. But I do have a couple ideas in mind. As for me, I think the top two, like it's also like a close call with Darius and Luigi's team, because I think Darius covers all his bases really well, and I think like Luigi's has like such raw power on that one. It's just like with the raw power, the speed tier, and like just whatever he's boasting is like impressive for, and then Darius is, like I said, just has all his bases covered, so we'll see.
Now
Right. Yeah.
there's your team. What is your team, Luigi? What do you think is the top team? One team?
Yeah, I was gonna say Shield, just because we both. I think he mentioned it earlier. It was kind of hard to hear in the DMV, but I think he mentioned that we both had like a similar thought process. We were both after Lele or Greninja. Initially, I was after the other Greninja.
Yeah, I
But
think the other
you
Greninja is
took it
stronger,
right.
honestly.
You took it right.
Yeah, I took it.
Yeah. So you sniped me.
Oh,
right.
I'm very sorry.
No, it's fine. But yeah, I just like what Shield brings. It's gonna be really difficult. I know that you mentioned he has kind of slow mons, but you can't utilize any priority against him. So his slow Scarfers aren't really gonna be that slow underneath the terrain. And he does have some insane power. I'd say right now his team is looking like it's the best top.
Oh boy, I bet if I don't perform well, this is gonna be awkward.
But to be fair, you
I
were
don't-
like season 3 champion and then season 4 didn't make playoffs. So I hope I win the first champion to return to playoffs, but we will see.
Yeah, according to Darian, we're all victims so far of the champion's curse, where you win a season and then you don't make playoffs in the following season. So be on guard, Lauren, because it may happen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
honestly,
that's why I haven't won the past 2 times. I wanted to make
all right.
playoffs again.
All right.
Third time's a charm, and I think you legitimately got
That's
this.
just it.
To be fair to EG, we had a very very close finals and it was a great match. And I still rewatch it like sometimes randomly because I think it was so close and so fun to play. Actually, playing
Yeah,
you
no,
in general is very fun.
yeah, our season 3 finals game, that was really fun, and just like because it was like it could have gone any way at any moment. Whoever cracked first would have been like, not even that, like it was just whoever. It was head to head. I enjoyed that match thoroughly.
What did you guys think about Austin's team, by the way? Because I don't think I was here for that.
Give me one second,
We
guys.
we did that on video too. So
Oh, okay, you
over
did.
there.
All right.
Yeah, but I will just upload part 2 soonish, and you can just skip around. I will not make timestamps because if someone wants to do them. But watching like 4 hours of video material is too much for me because I have to do stuff for school because I get a visit from my teacher like in 2 weeks. So I have to prepare a lot of stuff next week too. But yeah, you can always watch the videos. You can check out where we placed each team. You will see them because I always have my mouse around the team, or nearly always, and yeah, will be great.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so thanks for tuning in. Either here live with us, like Quinton. Thanks a lot to Quinton. Thanks a lot to Luigi. Duane, especially, who always brought his input to Darian, who tuned in this time. Last time he was talking about his own team, then bringing up some stuff. Thanks to Austin, who was basically always around in every recording, even though he didn't talk a lot. He was always listening in and typing and keeping the chat active. And especially a big thanks to Shield, who basically was one of the 2 guys I was sure I wanted at least to talk with them about a few teams like Pat and Shield. We had in our private chat already decided we wanted to do that anyways. And so a big thanks to Shield who also tune in the entire time and talk with me about every team.
Yeah, pleasure to be here, Lauren. Thanks for coordinating and setting it up, and was happy to give my input and also like including everybody from our draft league chat on this. I think everybody's input was really valuable in different fronts, and especially like going forward and how we go approach the games, and also how we use our draft our free agency picks to to shuffle our drafts as needed. So we'll see how the season goes, but it's really been great talking about this, especially how competitive this particular just pre battles, like the looking at these drafts, how they ended up has been really interesting, and seeing how they've all shaped up.
Everyone's ready for war, I suppose.
Yeah, everyone is ready for war. Austin and Luigi are ready to catch some ass cheeks. I know they're looking forward to it. Just kidding, love you guys.
No, it's clap, not catch.
Yeah.
Clap. My
And I will be happy to see how many people will beat me down, how many people I can beat down with my team.
Oh, you're all
Um,
putting me at number one. I gotta. If I don't beat down, this is gonna be real. I'm gonna be hiding my head in shame. So I gotta really do well now.
well, to be fair, because we put so much pressure on you, it's not because we think you will just always win, because that also requires good execution, and if you have a bad day, you have a bad day. That's how the game is. But your
Oh,
team can definitely outperform every team.
We'll see though. I know there's plenty, but everyone here is like from what I've seen the last 2 seasons, that everyone has been very innovative, and they've been able to demonstrate a lot of tactics that have thrown people for a loop at times. So I'm fully prepared to like deal with that.
Well, I hope
I
this
hope
will
so,
be a
at least.
very competitive season. It shapes up to be
Absolutely.
one. We have a lot of great players here, a lot of skilled players, and it will be a very fun season. And yeah, we will record the power ranking videos with like Dwayne. If you want to join us, I will make a chat with you in there. If not, you can also. That's also fine. I'll leave it up to you. Pat will probably join. I will wait for Pat with that because Pat has a way different view than I do, and that will be very interesting to see. And definitely Shield because she was here for the entire time already. And yeah. So I hope
All
to
right.
see you there, and I will stop the recording now. And yeah, see you guys.
Later.
Thanks a lot, Lauren.